made up of two words. The word glyco means glucose, and the word lysis means to break down. Glycolysis is a series of reactions that extract energy from glucose by splitting it into two 3-carbon molecules called pyruvates. Glycolysis is an ancient metabolic pathway, meaning that it evolved long ago, and it is found in the great majority of organisms alive today.
Let's discover more, shall we? Glycolysis takes place in the cytosol of a cell, and it can be broken down into two main phases, the energy requiring phase and the energy releasing phase. In the first half of glycolysis, two adenosine triphosphate or ATP molecules are used in the phosphorylation of glucose, which is then split into two 3-carbon molecules.
In the beginning, the glucose molecule in the cytoplasm is trapped in the cell by adding phosphate molecules. The product becomes glucose 6-phosphate. Then, glucose 6-phosphate gets transformed into its isomer called fructose 6-phosphate. An ATP molecule reacts with fructose 6-phosphate and adds a phosphate molecule and makes it fructose 1,6-biophosphate. The reaction is catalyzed by an enzyme called the phosphofructokinase, and this reaction decides the rate of glycolysis reaction.
After that, the fructose biphosphate is split into two molecules, DHAP as well as glyceraldehyde 3-phosphate. The DHAP and glyceraldehyde 3-phosphate molecules are converted to the latter, and eventually all the molecules undergo further steps of glycolysis. Phew, that was a lot.
We still need to cover one more topic. It is time for the energy releasing phase. In the second half of glycolysis, the 3-carbon sugars formed in the first half of the process go through a series of additional transformation, ultimately turning into pyruvate. In the process, 4 ATP molecules are produced along with the 2 molecules of NADH.
Now, let's check out more detail at the reaction that leads to these products. Since a glucose splits into two 3-carbon molecules, the reactions will happen twice for each glucose molecule and eventually proceed through the pathway.
In the next step, you will see two half reactions occur simultaneously. First, glyceraldehyde 3-phosphate, which is one of the 3-carbon sugars formed in the initial phase, is oxidized, and NAD+ is reduced to NADH and H+. The overall reaction is exergonic, releasing energy that is then used to phosphorylate the molecule, forming 1,3-bisphosphoglycerate. 1,3-bisphosphoglycerate donates one of its phosphate groups to ADP, making a molecule of ATP and turning into 3-phosphoglycerate in the process. 3-phosphoglycerate is converted into its isomer, 2-phosphoglycerate, which then 2-phosphoglycerate loses a molecule of water, becoming phosphoenol pyruvate PEP.
PEP is an unstable molecule, poised to lose its phosphate group in the final step of glycolysis. PEP readily donates its phosphate group to ADP, making a second molecule of ATP. As it loses its phosphate, PEP is converted to pyruvate, the end product of glycolysis.
Oh my, it was so incredible! But we missed the most important part. As a Muslim, let us cultivate the relationship of science with the Quran. In the Quran, it is mentioned, "Do you not see the fire which you kindled? Are you the one who made the tree, or we are the ones who made it?" In Surah Al-Waqi'ah, verse 71 and 72.
In this verse, why does Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala mention the word tree? Is tree not called wood, khushub? Usually people light fires from wood, not trees. Then, what is the connection between lighting a fire and a tree?
The Quran states a physics formula currently known in modern science, which is 6 molecules of carbon dioxide plus 6 molecules of water plus sunlight plus chlorophyll equal to glucose plus 6 molecules of oxygen. The Quran explains the formation of oxygen comes from sunlight, carbon dioxide, and chlorophyll from trees to perform photosynthesis. One of the elements in the formation of oxygen is the presence of a living tree.